CEO. CEO, come on.
Once was outside and now we worldwide.
CEO, come on.
Once told to hide, but you can't deny it.
CEO, come on.
The dream took some time, but now we on the rise.
CEO, come on.
If we unify, the squad will never die.
Hey everyone, this is Alex Bailey here, and on this video, this is a very unorthodox one. I purchased a brand new 2021 Mustang Mach-E premium electric vehicle. I had no intentions of buying a new car for at least a couple more years. I've been focused kind of on a house in my personal life. You know, I got a dog, need a backyard, but life had other plans for me. As you may know, I was in a huge car crash on October 2nd in my beautiful Ford Focus RS, and you know, that was my first American car I'd ever bought. About a month and a half later, I ended up looking around, seeing what I was interested in to replace that car, and I decided to go with a fully electric. I was always interested in it. I was always looking at Teslas, but my good friend Jeff has actually another one of these, and he had pre-ordered this back in April. And in that meantime, because he had worked with Ford, he was able to find another one, buy that sooner. And then at the timing of when the insurance money had come in and I was starting to, you know, look around, he was like, hey, this is coming in. Do you want to take over my order? So shout out to Jeff for that, because with all the part shortages, all that, I probably wouldn't have had a car or been able to find a car I wanted. I got to tell you, I am so happy with this purchase. I actually took it down on about a 500-mile road trip this past weekend down to Boca Raton and back, and no issues at all. I stopped twice to charge. So wanted to give you a breakdown of this. I will talk in a future video about the charging, all the questions I had before I got an electric vehicle, you know, and as soon as I started posting pictures of this on my Instagram and, you know, Facebook and all that, people are like, you went electric? Like, how is it? And also the beauty of this car is you go around, there's not many of these out yet because of the shortages and such. So another reason I got the Ford was that RS saved my life from the way it took that crumple from getting hit from behind. So I was like, you know what, I did some research on this. Somebody else got hit from behind in one of these and it barely did any back bumper damage. The other car was nearly totaled in the front. So I knew that this was something that was made for me. I was always interested in electric, and it ends up with this. So let's do a walk around of everything, show you everything about it, and I hope you enjoy. So this is a walk around of the Mustang Mach-E, and on the front, obviously you've got the Mustang horse symbol. Now this car is using the Mustang brand, which is a good or bad idea depending how you look at it. A lot of Mustang owners are obviously really kind of bothered by the fact there's an electric Mustang that's 4 doors and a crossover SUV. So far, like, I'm loving it. It doesn't drive like a Mustang. It does take off like you wouldn't believe. This is the premium model. That is all-wheel drive, extended range battery, and it gets about 270 miles to a range. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot. Usual you know, gas tank would take about 300 to like 350 miles. My Ford Focus is like 320 to the tank, but after doing a little road trip and kind of testing it out, it was not bad at all. But give you a walk around. So we've got 19-inch alloys. My only issue with these tires are they're 225s. I had 255s on my RS, which are super wide, but these are 19 inches. I think they're a great design. Just might be a little challenging to clean off all that, the black plastic right here. So piano black, as they call it. Right here, we've got, this is where the charging port happens. So you've got a regular charger. They call it the J1172, I believe. Some numbers that, this is pretty much universal except for Tesla. So most of the other electric cars use this. And then if you're on the road and you happen to find a DC fast charger, it'll use both plugs, which, you know, we'll put in. Yesterday in 15 minutes, I got back like 70 miles. So that was all a quick stop I needed. I stayed a little longer just to have a little extra juice in case I went anywhere else. But this is the button that would unlock the charger, and then you just pull it right out. And then you have the Ford Pass app, which comes with this car. You can download it. Anybody can download it without even owning the car. And it basically allows you to open the car doors, the trunk, lower the windows, start the car. But you do everything with it, and it also acts as a key. So I'll show you a little bit closer with that. And this is the Dark Matter Gray. Nobody else, people are actually starting to get it. I've only seen one YouTube video with another Dark Matter Gray on it. So this is the back. You've got the very, you know, recognizable Mustang lights on it. Back it up a little bit. And that license plate I did not choose, but 22A, which is almost a fighting game move, sucks, was like, you know what, this is so me. I have lucked out. And on the Dark Matter Gray, you might be able to see it, but it has kind of a metallic paint job to it, which is really cool. So when the direct sun hits, it looks beautiful. But this is the back side of it. 4 doors, compact SUV. I actually had 2 of my friends that are about my height, 6'2", and they sat in the back and we went for a 30-minute ride, and they were absolutely in love with it. So I'll show you some of the features this has. This has a kick gate. So I just swipe underneath there, and boom, it opens for you. This is on the premium model. Right back here, you've got the trunk. It was like an all-weather performance package, which is basically mats that go in that I actually really like. It's gonna be so much easier than carpet to clean this car up. But if you lift this up right here, you have extra storage where you would put the charger, but I've installed it in my house for now. If I need to travel with it, I can just unplug it and get to go. But decent storage for an SUV if you're looking for something like that. I usually transport boxes and stuff, for events. But this should be good enough for me for now. Usually I rent out equipment now, so I don't have to really think about all that. But now, with the Ford Phone as a Key app, you can actually unlock everything. Give you guys a quick example of the Ford Pass app. I'm gonna just unlock my screen. And then again, got 5 buttons right here. I'm going to click Windows down, hold it. Windows go down. Obviously this car does not self-park, but it does kind of have a self-drive called Blue Cruise, where going up and down Boca, I was able to literally just keep my eyes straight on the road because it tracks your eyes with infrared, I'll show you. And it literally pretty much drove itself the whole way. When cars were near me, I trusted it, turning around, going down like little turns on the highway. It was flawless the way it did. There was a car in front of you, it slows down, it lets you know when cars are coming up on your sides. It was really, really cool, and then slows down, speeds up, and then you still have to change your own lanes, but the fact that it's pretty cool that they can do it. So this is what they call the front trunk. Okay, so you lift this up, there's no engine obviously, this is all full electrical. And look at that, you have a nice little front trunk. I was able to fit a nice little carry-on bag and a camera bag yesterday when I went down to Boca. And it's pretty, it's usable, honestly, but my favorite part is a drain hole right there. So I can take this to the beach, fill it up. You've got 2 little cup holders right here. If somehow one of your friends joining you around, I don't think you could fit anybody in here. You might be able to fit a pet, but don't do that, obviously. This here is an eject button that will open up the front trunk for anybody that is stuck inside. So, and the beauty of this, not having an engine, no oil changes. All I have to do as the owner is pretty much replace windshield wiper fluid, and then tires, right? One of the situations I learned with electric, because of the instant torque and how fast these things can just take off, you're gonna be replacing tires maybe like 1 or 2, I would say like 2 or 3 more times than you would your normal tires on a car. A lot of my cars, I would need to replace them every like 20,000 miles. So, but a lot of little detail to the Mustang brand right here. You've got the horse right up there. Thought that was really cool. And then closing this, it's not electronic. That's probably one of the only complaints I really have about this car. So you gotta do that, and then you gotta push. See? I usually do it 2 hands right away. I know the trick, but that, it takes a little bit of force to push in, and you just got to trust it. And on the road, because not many people have seen this, and not everyone watches YouTube or Twitch or, stays in touch with all the car world and what's coming out with EVs, I've been asked a lot what the hell this car is when people pull up to it. So something, if as you know me, I kind of like attention, and I don't mind teaching people that I'm already in love with electric vehicles. Obviously this is one on the higher side price-wise, but seeing a car like this that's fun to drive, lots more inside, is a really cool feeling that EVs are starting to make their mark. A lot of other companies are coming out with EVs next year. The tax credits are really helpful to people, but I'm excited for the day when Tesla even talks about making a much cheaper Model 2 that's affordable for everyone, like $20,000 electric car. Will be the future in my opinion, 5-10 years, and being a huge nerd and gamer, driving this car makes me feel like I'm on test track over at Epcot. Now to open this car, push a button, it pops up a little bit, and boom, there it opens for you. So that is the only door handle on the driver and passenger side. Now, if you're on the back seats, same thing, button, but it has a little plastic thing right here, so you're not grabbing any metal or anything, and it's a little bit rubbery. Before we get in, it's kind of show you, it's got the Mustang badge right there. There's only one Ford logo on this entire car, which is right on the front, which is pretty cool. And then you got a panoramic roof, which you cannot see while you are on the outside of the car, which is really cool the way they have it tinted. But down here, those all-weather mats again. I washed my car earlier today for its first time. A lot of dirt on these, but it's gonna be so easy to just take them out, clean it up, vacuum right away, which is really cool. I have a dog, so it'll be much easier to vacuum up all her pet hair and everything. But this is kind of the look of the car before I sit inside and show you. So again, one more time to just show you getting in the car, push the button. It also has a keypad here, so if I want to go surfing or, you know, I don't do that anymore. But if I want to go to the gym, leave everything inside, including my cell phone and everything, then I can just basically type in the code and lock it up, pressing 2 buttons right here, or use it to get back in, and then with the key inside, it lets me do that. And if anybody else breaks into it, it has a passcode on the actual, you got to type in a passcode to get into it. So, but this is me getting into the car. A lot more spacious than my RS, obviously. I'm a 6'2", about 245-pound guy, and I just love the feel of this car getting inside it. Very comfortable. As soon as I turn the car on, my seat will actually remember where I was before driving. Just press start to brake. So super cool. Vehicle's now on. You didn't hear anything. There's no engine, which is the best part of it when I show it to my friends. But just kind of showing you sitting in the front seat. Again, fits 5 full-size adults. The back middle, as always, is really tough to do. But this is kind of when you're getting in the car, you might be able to hear the batteries kind of spooling up to get ready for the drive. But this is kind of, you know, how I would sit inside on the front seat. And let's do a little bit more of the inside. So my seat all the way back because I'm tall, but my knees still aren't touching. It looks low here, but once you get inside, you're gonna see a giant panoramic roof. But you know, for the most part, if I move up a little bit, you know, up front, somebody behind me 6'2", will be able to actually perfectly fit fine as an adult, which is always crazy. They get smaller and smaller with these damn cars. So now we are in the inside of the car. This is the interior right here. Before I turn on, kind of show you the wheel. Now, what I actually really preferred about this over a Tesla, when you're in the Tesla, all you have is that giant screen in the middle, nothing else. So you're always gonna be kind of looking to the right a little bit, so your speed limit and everything. This actually still comes with a standard kind of driving cluster, not touchscreen. This is a 15.5-inch, basically tablet slabbed onto the front dash. This is my little cell phone holder, MagSafe, so I can actually rotate it down and just keep my phone there in an eye's view, but usually I would use it down here for the wireless charging pad. So very cool. It actually, this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, so it literally fits snug right inside. It'll wirelessly charge as soon as the car's on. Cup holder standard, but you also have even more space underneath. So I have like hand sanitizer. I put my mask down there. Very cool because there's no, you know, transmission or a lot of inner workings to electric cars other than the motors being attached to the wheels. But let's turn this bad boy on, brake on. Nice little animation of horsey right there. So this has everything, has how much battery life. I'm at 100% right now. And I'll talk about in another video again about what I needed to learn to buy an electric vehicle, but I actually installed a 14 to 15 NEMA. Long story short is a up to 50 amp circuit going straight to my circuit breaker that I had to pay about $1,200 to get installed. But now I can pretty much always have a full tank of gas at my house. And when you buy these electric cars, this one comes with a standard just 120 volt, anything, you know, you plug in your cell phone charger and all that, gives you back about 3 miles per hour it's being plugged in to charge. So if you're a daily commuter, not the best for you, but if you're somebody like me that kind of works from home during the week and then travels on the weekends, then I'm always fully ready to go. But I want to just get something faster, especially when Jeff comes to visit. He can charge his car up for a few hours while he's hanging out. And with that installation, which basically uses the dryer plug, and I'll show you, is adds about 20 miles back per hour of charging. So overnight, you're gonna get like, you know, 160 to 200 miles back. And they do suggest, I learned, was don't always 100% charge this so you can extend the life of your battery. So most people start it at like 80 to 85%. A lot of fast chargers that charge within mere minutes, less than 30 minutes back to 80%. And then it kind of levels off there and slowly charges. But lots to understand with that. But you know, this here is how they do the Blue Cruise. You on camera can see it, but it's naked to the human eye will not see these red flashing lights. So this is always checking your eyes to make sure your eyes are on the road. So very cool. Standard still has all the buttons down here, windows up and down. You've got a door handle here though. This is new. It's literally, you just pull it and that's how you open the door. And what's cool is when I showed my father this car, he instantly knew how to open the door. He pushed the button, pulled the handle. So that was very, very cool. Then you've got the giant screen. What I love about Ford, Tesla does not have this. It has Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. I am an Apple iPhone guy, so just being able to plug that in, but if you click that right there, you know, this has all the different drive modes. I will do a separate video of driving experience in this car when I get a nice little camera set up so I can focus on the road. But you got 3 different drive modes. You've got the camera here, so you are pretty much covered all around. And then I can see in front of me, back of me. So really cool. You know, this is everything. But again, still has some buttons on the steering wheel, volume control. This is all your Blue Cruise buttons right here. This is your lane assist, so you still keep your hands on the wheel, but it makes sure once you go out, it buzzes you, lets you know. And then a little more storage over here for you, so open that. Got a nice deep cupboard right here. I have a backup camera right here, my AirPod Pros, you know, so put my wallet down there when I'm driving. Also has an auto park button. I do not want to test this. I don't trust Florida parking and the way people back out, but I've seen some videos of it. It looks cool. It just seems to take a lot more time than just me parking it. But I will try it when I get to parallel park it sometime. So, but as you may or may not hear, the engine's actually on right now. So you can't hear a darn thing in this car. But it's very cool. Then I have my garage opener already programmed here, which is easy to do. And then, you know, sunglass holder right there, which is cool. You know, all your lighting buttons, your standard stuff for a car. But the beauty of this car is the Bang & Olufsen sound bar. There's 10 speakers and it literally looks like a sound bar has been attached to your front dash. So very cool, very clean. Let's see if I can put some music for you and kind of hear that out. Let's get out of camera mode, please. But yeah, just show you a little bit more of the screen. So this is the only physical knob on the screen. It only controls your volume or on and off on the stereo. Now this looks annoying when everything else is touchscreen, probably to just save costs. So when you're like kind of fiddling with your AC, you kind of want to know where you want to be at, and then, you know, control it, heated steering wheel, heated seats. But this, I actually like the thought process behind. If I'm driving and I'm like at a drive-thru and I want to turn down, just literally just turn down, you know, turn down for what, lower, raise the volume. And so very cool that I can do that really quick. It is a little bit plasticky and cheap, so is this dial knob here. And I'm used to driving stick shift, so my biggest fear before I got the car was like, well, if my hand's always used to being right here, am I gonna like accidentally go into reverse? Has not been the case. I really like it. I get used to things very quickly the way they're designed, so my hands are always now focused on the road, so I don't have to worry about stick shift controlling it. I do miss stick shift. Beauty about electric cars is they have one pedal driving, which I adapted to. It took me about an hour to really get used to it, where as soon as you let go of the gas, it kind of regens the brakes. So you're not using your actual brakes. The car is just decelerating, kind of like downshifting, but it's very gradual. It's not like you let it go at 40 miles an hour and you just instant stop. You kind of have to prepare for cars in front of you and stop slower and then kind of inch up if you need to, if you stop too soon. But I got used to it real quick. I thought that was amazing. But yeah, kind of walk through all that. Let's get some music on. So I'm gonna exit the settings here, and there's so many settings. You have ambient lighting, you have the cameras, you can open everything. Still actually physical buttons are your phone. There's not really like a trunk open button here, but you have a lot of settings, like when does it automatically charge your car overnight? What percentage will it stop at? If you're in like a colder area, I'm in Orlando, Florida. It's a beautiful day out. It is about 77 degrees. Doesn't get much nicer than that. If you're up in a colder area, you know, you can tell your car 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, I want your heat on, I want the car ready to go. And then it'll use your house power if you're having it plugged in, and then boom, you walk in your car, it's nice and toasty, you're ready to kick off the day. So I have all kinds of eclectic tastes. Let's go to my library. Actually, you should check out the CEO Gaming album. Lots of music from over the years by my buddy Orlando, Chris, and a few others. Dubstep classics. Kind of want you guys to hear how beautiful this speaker system sounds. So that's your sound right there. Let's kind of lower that. I'm going to show you one of my favorite things in this car. I'm going to have to get into the back seat for that. A glass panoramic roof. It actually looks a little bit dark here. Let's kind of lower that. Full panoramic roof, does not close. People, you know, have asked, like, does it get hot in here? You have to hold your hand up and actually feel a little bit of the heat, but the windshield, or I'm sorry, the panoramic glass roof is absorbing that heat, so you're not feeling it in the car. Like, it's not beating down on your head. You don't have to worry about it. So it comes pre-tinted. I think it's gorgeous, especially when you sit in behind. In the back, and you kind of just see the whole sky ahead of you. At nighttime, it's not as bright as you would think, so you're not really like seeing the stars coming down, but you know, very cool. And then again, the back side of all that, you got, you know, AC vents down here, but I love it because they thought ahead and backwards. USB-A and USB-C up here, and then you've got USB-A and C up there as well if you need to charge faster, because the wireless pad is not as fast as I would like. You know, it's not super fast charge, but it keeps, you know, it keeps your charge. You're not going to lose much battery on it. And again, keeps the phone out of the way. And the cool thing about wireless CarPlay, a lot of cars are getting now, is it's instant. So I don't have to wait for it to load up. I don't have to plug it in to get AirPlay working. It's right away, boom, you're good to go. So, and then the floating speakers for the Bang & Olufsen. These are Active X. They're like a fake leather, but they're actually really comfortable. Not heavy, you know, I haven't really parked this anywhere in extreme heat yet, in Florida heat, like June, July. But we will find that out the hard way, I'm sure. When I was at the dealership, they honored my friend's plan that is basically like a friends and family, so there was no markup. I did not have to worry about any of that, thank God. So I was very lucky on that front. And yeah, I was able to pick it up, walk right out the door. Kelly Ford, Melbourne, you guys were incredibly fast. Actually, I was the one talking so much, telling them stories about the crash and stuff. They just want to get me out of there and move on so I can sell more cars, because they were killing it that day on a Saturday. But very cool. I was able to pick this up, got very lucky. You know, I did not want to buy a new car, had no plans to, but things kind of worked in my favor with that. And grateful for it. Took Tifa for a ride in this car already. She loved it, always smiling when she's in the back seat. And luckily the crash didn't traumatize her from other, you know, stuff and traveling. So, but yeah, the inside of the back seat of the Mustang Mach-E Premium. And a couple more things about this car while I'm sitting in my driveway about ready to go and grab some lunch. You know, electric, I honestly think now there's cars that are coming out a lot prettier. You know, Teslas are really cool cars. I was considering the Performance Model Y, which is actually about the same price range as this. They're direct competitors to each other, but Teslas no longer get that tax credit, so this was an instant buy for me to get a nice SUV. You know, I miss my RS, I miss driving stick shift, but it's time to grow up, move on, and have a much more comfortable ride and car, especially for long distances. And again, when I drove that Boca down and up, I was so comfortable in this car. I honestly spent about 45 minutes in total between charging on the way there and then getting a little bit more charge to get home safely on the way back. So you gotta, you know, if you're a long road tripper, I would not buy an EV yet, honestly. Once they get into that 400, 500 mile range, who knows when that's gonna happen. It comes down to the battery power and all that, or how long the batteries last. And then when you get an EV, you gotta have to start understanding, you know, kilowatts, how many kilowatt hours the battery is. This is the 88 extended range. The other one I believe is like 66 or lower. And it just, you know, more than enough for a guy like me that doesn't, you know, road trip a lot. I usually fly when I travel for work. And it's just such a cool thing that it takes off kind of like a, you know, a roller coaster, the Hulk at Universal. This is again a 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. Not extremely fast like a Tesla S Plaid, that's, you know, 1.9. The GT version of this, again, probably would have cost me another 15 grand to get with markups and everything, and I didn't want to wait for a new one to be built over 8 months. I've been watching some GT videos. It does go 0 to 60 in 3.8, or the performance package, which is basically better tires, a couple changes to the stabilization or the suspension system on this car. And, you know, I just, you know what, this ended up working out. The Premium was great for me. I've driven a lot of fast cars in my life, been very lucky to drive some really cool, like an Audi R8. I've been in a Gallardo Lamborghini. My brother actually has a Dodge Viper, 2003 Dodge Viper, still in great condition. And so the Ford Focus for me was that affordable supercar with amazing handling. Never got to take advantage of it. I never got to take it to a track and go drift racing or anything like that, because it can fully drift. This is all-wheel drive. It has a little bit of understeer when you kind of take a turn fast, and it's a top speed of actually 110 miles an hour. Does not go above that because of a limiter. I'm okay with it not going above that. Why would I ever have to drive that fast? I'm a very valuable asset to the FGC if you're watching. And so I like to stay safe and everything, but I'm gonna go for a ride in this. And again, very fortunate, you know, I want to do this review, kind of show you the car, because a lot of people are interested in EVs, and I'll probably talk on my Jabated podcast this week, the Japodcast. You can look it up anywhere, and then CEO Gaming here. You know, kind of talk about EVs, maybe bring my friend Jeff on it and talk about just how cool this shit is. I really like it. It's super quiet. Now, when I was at high highway speeds, you know, I don't go more than 10 over the speed limit. So everyone else goes 85, 90, down 95 or the turnpike. I was sticking to about 80 to 85 at the most. And I could hear the highway noise, but overall it's like such a luxury car. You can drive it as slow as you want, as comfortable as you want, and you're not gonna get a lot of noise. I had two friends sitting in here, and I had the doors and windows closed, and I was outside. I could barely hear them talk unless they really focused. So it kind of keeps sound in. So these electric cars, a lot of them coming out, are starting to feel like real luxury compared to some $80,000, $90,000 luxury Mercedes or sedan. And then go look at the Mercedes EQS, which is insane. But let me know what you think about this video. I could talk about cars all day. That's always been one of my little secret hobbies. I've been to a lot of car shows, but I'm proud to say I'm an electric vehicle owner, and I'm looking forward to kind of telling more stories about the Mustang Mach-E Premium. And if you're really interested in this car, best advice is to kind of look at the Ford inventory, see if you can find something. Hope they don't mark it up. I've heard rumors that by next summer, the supply chains will be back to normal. and you know, be able to pick up any kind of car you want. But for me, you know, November 2021, this car's been out for almost about like 9-10 months now. To be able to get a later version, they had some issues with the panoramic roof and the windshield not being totally bonded to the rest of the car, but mine was built after that. And you know, so lucked out there enough to take it back. This came with all the latest updates, which was really cool. But yeah, again, one more time, guys, thank you for tuning into my car review of my brand new car, and I hope to see you around.
CEO, come on.
Once was outside and now we worldwide.
CEO, come on.
Once told the high,